I took the daisies down in front of the garden and trimmed up the sunflowers to let sun in the front. So the sun is no longer straight up and down, it's moving lower in the sky. So I need more sun to be able to penetrate the front. I did tie up the tomato cages were falling over because the tomatoes were getting so heavy. Passion flowers. Starting to see loads of big peppers. Pepper plants are all around the fence. The ones on this back fence were put in last, so they're the smallest. And the ones on this fence I have harvested off of. These are the orange ones. These were the first ones to sprout. And these are the first ones I was able to pull off of. Bought peppers in March from the grocery store, multiple colors, and seeded from the grocery store peppers. So the orange ones did really well, sprouted quickly. And the peppers in the greenhouse didn't do great. So the red ones were next, and they didn't grow wonderfully. And then the yellow ones on the back fence, I re-sprouted again, and I ended up getting a lot in the end. They're just smaller than the rest. They'll be the last to come in. They do have some small peppers on them. This one must be a red because the peppers are bigger. There are 3 corn cobs on this one stalk. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. 4? I don't think they'll all produce, but that's interesting. Could be a blessing. This humongous squash was a volunteer. None of the ones I planted came up. Maybe they'll come up next year. No squash though. So I've got this plant that's roaming around with no squash on it. Huge leaves. Celery patch is really doing well. I have been pulling celery in. Passion flowers. I have my first passion fruit. Of course, I seen it when I didn't have the camera in my hand. There it is. They grow so fast. But they're kind of late coming on, so unless we have a really nice late fall warm, they won't produce. Or I mean, they won't have time to ripen. They need like around 80-90 days. So that's why I have so many passion flowers in pots this year, and only the maypops are in the ground, and this one did winter outside. I kept the ones in the house happy until the beginning of spring, and then I lost a bunch of them. Hummingbirds and butterflies, that's what I'm seeing in the garden today. Couldn't get the hummingbird on film. Surprised I got the butterfly. The beans got eaten over and over again. I kept planting, something kept eating them, I kept planting, and in the end, I got one plant, and it is producing beans. That was my goal. Did that with the squash too, but I didn't have as good of luck with the squash. I got cucumbers I did the same thing with, and I did get some cucumbers, but I don't have cucumbers on the plant yet. So my goal is to just keep seeding, and they'd get sick of it or not see it, and I would end up with a plant. And in the end, I did end up with some plants because I didn't give up. I ended up getting some corn. I lost a lot of corn plants early in the year. So I put what I had left all in one spot close together. So what do I have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants, 6 plants. And then I planted more behind them, probably about the same. But I didn't know if it was enough for them to pollinate. And it was a miracle, I got corn. Corn on the cob, off the cob, in freezer bag. With all the air out. So same day, frozen, fresh corn. Stuff from the garden.